Alright baby, kembali lagi di channel gua Chunkman, dan gua bakal lanjutin game yang kemarin, yaitu Call of Juarez Gunslinger. Ya jadi silakan aja dinikmatin. Tuh, pegel. Ya, dinikmatin ya. Wait. Semoga tidak patah-patah ya gamenya. Kita langsung lanjut. Continue. They call me Bounty Hunter. Jadi gue namatin langsung di Juarez, di Juarez atau ya makanya yang satu.
It was early morning. One of my friends was a local gunsmith, and he handed out firearms to anybody who'd take one. You see, the Daltons got it in their heads to rob two banks at the same time. Two banks on the same damn street.
Wah, apa sih? Stranger lah.
Story was Bob Dalton's girl was always riding about how he had no ambition. Well, you're nobody next to Jesse Green, she'd say. Finally, the bastard took his brothers to Coffeyville just to shut her up.
Right. Oh, the woman.
Well, the locals recognized the Daltons right off. Before they could get away, half the town took up arms to defend their property.
I see.
The brothers paid dearly for their stupidity, but everybody knows they had it coming.
There's more to it than that. I read all about that day, so I know for a fact that it went down very differently. First of all, it's high noon. A posse of U.S. deputy marshals were on the rooftop across the street.
Get ready, boys. Make a move.
The lawmen have been tracking the Daltons for months. Now they find dead to rights. Bounty hunter. Then the law. They had no intention of letting the Daltons slip away. The marshals tried to get the Daltons.
What's that?
This bounty hunter knew that the brothers were far too close.
Amat ya. Jangan. Amat. Laut mana?
He went in there alone to confront those criminals.
Salah kan gua salah.
Those boys had a reputation as stone cold killers. The marshals took every precaution, knowing it wouldn't go easy.
Gimana
An
lagi?
adversary that day who had no fear and offered them no quarter.
Awas. Awas.
He went in there alone to confront those criminals. One of the marshals shouted, "Where are you going? Are you crazy?"
Where do you think you're going, dumbass?
But he paid him
Come on.
no mind. He saw a way to get around to the back of the bank.
Amat ininya. Sampai nggak kedengeran aja.
Then he figured out how to hit the Daltons from a direction they weren't expecting.
Di mana? Naik,
From
oke.
above. Fortunately, a water tower was right there. A moment later, he was climbing up a steep ladder, laughing at danger as he did. It was brave men like him who risked their lives to tame this wild country.
Oke.
We've got company.
Heroic men like him, who did what other men couldn't or wouldn't to make this country free.
Mana jalannya?
Like Jim Bowie and Davy Crockett, who died defending the Alamo.
Jalannya mana? Oh sini. Oh ulah ngapa?
Is that Silas Greaves? Son of a bitch!
Lagi anjir. Nice. Sip. Di bawah ingat gua ada. Kambing kaget gua. Oke, clear.
Over there!
Main Anda.
That's Silas Greaves! What the hell?
Sip lah.
Blam! He came away victorious, taking down thieving Daltons. His name
Nice.
was Silas Greaves, and when the dust
And the dust
finally
finally
settled,
settled.
he was the
Last
last
man
man standing.
Wah,
Sorry, kid, but that just wasn't the way it happened.
kayak diceritain begitu. Ceritanya enak banget asal pada ganti aja.
It was early evening, not high noon. Daltons blew up a safe, and were all set to hightail it out of there. I was late to the party, and Coffeeville was already up in arms. Those pathetic deputies surrounding the bank were dropping like flies.
Leader, the lover, and the loser. Bob, Emmett, Gwet, Cobb, Quentin.
I had been tracking those jokers for months, waiting for them to do something reckless.
Yang gak gitu dong.
And finally, they did. Those stupid bastards decided to rob two banks at the same time in the same town where everybody knew them. But they still had friends in Coffeeville. What are you gonna do?
Salah sini. Salah.
Face me, you coward!
Yeah.
Those friends came after me like a wild
Nice.
dogs, tooth and
Lagi.
nail. They were coming at me from all directions. I caught sight of the Daltons running with the money and didn't want to lose it. Problem was, they knew the town better
Oh,
than
yeah,
I
teman.
did. And to top it off, I found myself in the middle of another shootout entirely.
Did the Daltons hurry up in somebody's house?
No, it was the Smiths, I believe. They were cousins of
Mana
the
lagi,
Daltons.
mana lagi,
They
mana
were
lagi,
shooting
mana
at
lagi.
the Browns, who were shooting at the Daltons, which wasn't any surprise because those two families have been feuding forever. And since the Joneses are related to the Browns, they shot at the Smiths. pissing off the Heimhoffers, whose daughter recently married a Smith.
Lirik.
Well, bullets were flying every which way as all the old feuds in Kansas caught fire all at once. There was a hell of a lot of pissed off people in Coffeeville that day. But that's just the way life is sometimes. Shit happens.
It happened.
The Dalton boys knew I would never give up.
Dalton Cochran. Dalton.
Those Daltons weren't the sharpest knives in the drawer, but they always stood together. They set a trap to slow me down and allow at least 2 of them to escape. The third brother stayed behind to plant me, just in case that trap...
Mana. Oh, ini lawannya.
The youngest. And he decided to stand his ground and face me down.
Emmett Dalton.
This is where it ends for you.
He was determined to protect his brother. Understood how he felt.
Gue spam dynamite, gue yang mati gue.
Dalton survived the robbery in Coffeeville. He's the only Dalton who did.
They say he was shot 23 times.
Well, Dwight, who do you think put all those damn holes in him?
Halo warga YouTube, selamat datang. Mati gameplay dari Call of Juarez.
That boy had grit.
Gak masalah di masjid akhir nih di Ghost Town. Gimana nih gue? Agak pusing juga. And Bounty Hunter is still my name. Ini kalau nggak salah ngeburu Dalton. Steamboat kalau nggak salah. Yang rawa kabut. Kalau nggak salah ya.
We'll get those suckers.
It took me a couple of days to track the Daltons down.
They can't get away with this.
And in that time, a whole posse of local vigilantes offered to lend a hand.
Track him to the ends of the earth.
They seemed as determined as me to find those outlaws. But as we headed into those swamps, it was like I had my own private army. There was no way those boys were getting away this time.
Alright, oh.
It was early fall, right? Beautiful time of year. At least you had the weather on your side.
Not by my recollection. It was damp and foggy as hell. It was tough to stay on a true course. So we kept an eye out for landmarks. It was autumn. The maple trees were in full color. Red as blood. Rains that year were torrential, so the whole area was flooded. The vigilantes had spread out wide, and pretty soon I couldn't see anybody.
Coba new game sih nanti buat cewek.
Except for some bitches ahead of me wanting to do me harm, so I had to face them alone. I wondered why my compatriots didn't come running when they heard the shots.
So did you find the Daltons?
Not yet, but I did have the questionable pleasure of meeting a few of their friends.
Lagi. Hit. Yo.
The boys had established quite a reputation by that time, so they attracted all manner of riffraff to their cause.
Wih, wih, santai.
Point being, I was under serious attack. My reinforcements was nowhere to be seen.
Aman ya. Emang aman harusnya.
But luckily, a barn materialized as if right before my eyes. I scrambled up top to get a better view.
Oke, aman. Sip. Naik, naik.
But just ended up falling inside.
So, how did you get out?
The barn doors was open. About right then, I saw some suspicious characters running through the bushes. Of course, I followed them. But that goddamn swamp was like a goddamn maze, and pretty soon I had no goddamn idea where I was.
Wait. Bentar. Ya. Ini gue patah anjir. Apa ya? Bentar. Oke, kita mulai lagi.
Steve? So I just started walking, and pretty soon Steve!
Huh? Oh, no, I'm listening.
Indians surrounded me from all sides.
Tiba-tiba Indian.
Indians? Indians?
No. I just wanted to make sure Steve was paying attention. Now, where was I?
You were following the Daltons through a swamp?
That's right. See, Steve? Dwight's paying attention.
No, I'm listening. I was just resting my eyes.
So,
My eyes.
where was I?
The Daltons.
Right. See, there's a reason so many outlaw gangs are made up of brothers. Being a brother is a very sacred thing. It's a bond like no other.
So did you ever find the damn Daltons?
Yeah, but I did find a few of their cousins. You Kansans breed like rabbits. Or Smiths or Heimhoffers or who knows what. But hell, what's more important than that? I bet Ben knows what I'm talking about.
Wait, kalem bos. Kalem, santai. Relax bos, relax. Kecang lempar dynamite. Come on out, bitch. Okay. There's the other. Sip. There's the other. What the hell? What the hell?
Kill
Astaga, ada sesuatu dong. Oh situ, I see. Kagak ngeliat gue, sumpah kagak ngeliat.
Bounty hunters! Stop that, so
Kagak liat gue, sumpah. Yes. Yo. Ayo. Halah, jantung.
Bounty hunters! Stop that, so
Ayo.
But hell, what's more important than family? I bet Ben knows what I'm talking about.
Pakai lagi tuh. Mana lagi? Terus ini kebanyakan. Oh, Allah kemis. Astaga, ngemis lagi gua. Yo, lagi. Oh, mana lagi? Mana lagi? Awas semua ya. Awas semua ya. Woi tuh, dari mana itu? Maaf. Mana lagi, ayo. Oke, kanan. Nah. Oke. Oh, mana lagi? Clear ya.
Knew those Dalton boys are somewhere. Standing together against anyone who would threaten them.
Oke, aman. Clear. Jalan, berarti gua.
I saw it. A goddamn steamboat.
A steamboat in a swamp?
Yeah, Steve, but this wasn't much more than a wreck, really.
But how'd a damn steamboat end up in the swamps? Guess it floated off during the flood of '89.
Now, was it a stern wheeler or a side wheeler?
What? Does that really make a difference, Steve? It was a steamboat with a goddamn army on board. It was in that a fusillade of bullets come raining down. And those vigilantes who accompanied me weren't anywhere to be found. But among those men that were shooting, I thought I saw some familiar faces. Waiting on me.
Oke, kita masuk steamboat.
Sounds like you don't give up too easy.
That's the kind of man I am, Ben. I set out to do something. I do it. Surrender just ain't in my nature. Plus, I'm stubborn as hell. Right about then, much to my relief, the vigilantes finally arrived. Their leader motioned at a cabin in the middle of the top deck, pointing me directly at the Daltons. I finally had them, after months of dogged pursuit. It turned out that they had me.
Take him out! I'm sending you to hell!
I'm sending you to hell. Ya.
The Daltons had played me like a fiddle. Apparently the vigilantes were on their damn payroll. They didn't just want to shoot me.
Ini gue mau end dulu dah abis ini.
Burn me alive. But finding my way out of a burning labyrinth proved to be quite a challenge.
It was a riverboat, right? I mean, it's not like it was a goddamn ocean liner.
Oh yeah, but I was in a
Did you
fight.
hear about that ship that's gonna launch next year? Largest one in the world.
You're talking about the Titanic. You ask me, it's too pleasant to. I don't think it.
So anyway,
Don't be stupid, Steve. They know what they're doing. They say that the Titanic is unsinkable.
oh God.
But getting back to that steamboat, how'd you get off it, Mr. Creed?
I took in a lot of smoke that day, so I admit my recollection
ini
kind of
juga nih gue nih.
hazy. But somehow I managed to finally disembark. It was time to settle this once and for all.
Itunya. Mati.
to come at me one at a time. They were in this together. Two brothers side by side, determined to take me down. Confident that this time the odds were on their side.
Dalton. Yang belakang duluan yang nembak anjing. Tuh, oke. Brengsek Dalton. Oke, bentar, fokus dulu, gua fokus. Gak bisa refleks lu, gua lu.
Got it wrong. A sad end for those two. If they'd only known that Emmett was still alive despite his wounds. Paroled 14 years later, he moved to California and sold real estate and lived off the legend of that fateful day. And the tragic death of his...
Ini gua end dulu deh.
My own brothers died tragically as well, truth be told.
Episode 7, The Wild Ones, Juarez, 1868.
It was 1868, and me and my older brothers were pulling a tidy profit running cattle into Juarez, Mexico. One night after my brothers retired for the evening, I found a little poker game in a cantina with a couple of cowboys. And I just couldn't lose. I even won an old Spanish coin that had to be 100 years old. Well, I was mighty pleased with myself the next morning as my brothers and I rode for Texas. But before we crossed the border, those cowboys caught up with us. It was Johnny Ringo, Roscoe Bob Bryant, and another asshole named Jim.
Oke, sorry warga YouTube. Maaf warga YouTube karena agak lama. Oke. Iya, aku tinggalin dulu streamnya. Ya udah aku lanjut ya. Ya nggak ada makanya. Hah? Kadang nge-live aja buat nyari. Ya kali gitu ada yang nyangkut kan. Siapa tahu gitu deh. Udah. Good night, babe. Nice dream. Nice dream, babe. Udah aku lanjut ya. Oke. Next kita lanjut. That's a great story in Republic.
I'd been on their trail for months, ever since they left their hideout in the Bighorn Mountains. Led by Butch Cassidy, they were a loose association of outlaws who robbed banks and trains from Colorado to Montana.
Gitu. Gitu. Iya, Bi. Kamu bobo dah. Soalnya aku pakai headset, Bi. Bakalan ketutupan suara kamu. Aku pakai headset soalnya. Ketutupan suara kamu sama suara gamenya. Enggak, kalau suara keyboard mah ya cuma aku kan gak bisa deketin handphone kupingku. Iya, kamu kan pengen apa dengerin.
Among them was the Sundance Kid and that murderous hombre I was tracking, Roscoe Bob Bryant.
Hah? Ya gimana, Beb? Berarti mah ya gitu, pas kan main deh. Ya deh. Good night, Beb. Nice deh.
Have a nice game, baby.
Oke, baby. Gitu ya.
Kemarau.
Udah, kamu tidur ya. Oke, kita lanjut. Pokoknya yang datang tadi.
You a part of that giant Pinkerton
Datang
posse
pokoknya.
after the Wild Bunch?
No, boy. A circus like that would have slowed me down. Besides, I wanted Bryant all to myself. I'd heard about a large shipment of gold being transported to Wilcox, Wyoming on the Overland Flyer. I figured the Wild Bunch would likely hit such a treasure, and by God,
Oh,
I
ini
figured
kalau nggak
right.
salah di Oke bang, itu baru ntar di jembatan besarnya.
They blew the bridge with the intention of forcing the train to stop. Well, I
kita
assumed the
naik
Wild Bunch was
keretanya.
likely in the still intact part of the train high above. I was determined to make that sumbitch Bob pay for what he did to my brothers.
Oke, wait. Kita main cepat saja, main cepat.
My ears are still ringing from blowing up that ridge.
What'd you say?
I made my way off unscathed and came upon a few members of the gang and had no choice but to dispatch them.
Nice.
From there, I had to negotiate an even more precarious route.
Okay.
I jumped from the frying pan into the fire as the train was clearly fixing to fall.
Oke, biar combo ya. Hah? Oke. Oke, kita lanjut.
You murderous bastard!
Oh.
Found the gang, but in order to find old Bob, I needed to fight my way forward past a whole pass of desperados. Outside, inside, any way I could, I made my way towards my prey.
And what about the passengers?
The freight train is outlaw. There were no passengers aboard that day.
Ngemis. Oh. Ah, ternyata. Oh, sini. Ini kan?
As I mentioned before, I am not fond of heights. But I was too busy dodging bullets to worry about falling to my death.
Bye-bye.
Odds were I was likely to die that day anyway. So I was determined to take down as many of those bastards as I could.
Mana lagi? Sini. Atas. Ngapain lu? Siapa yang ngajarin gitu?
Times it was like shooting ducks in a shooting
Allah Akbar. Allah
The only
Akbar.
difference is these damn ducks shot back.
Wah. Ini ada. Gak ada lu. Ah. Tadi ada lu.
I kept hoping the law would show up and give me a
You
hand.
mean like that giant Pinkerton posse that I read about? Did they come riding in, guns a-blazing to help?
And poses of wild ones get kiri but Cassidy's under the skin.
Help? From the Pinkertons? No, son. I had to fight the wild bunch all by my lonesome. As usual.
Who the hell is that?
Oh, mau kemana?
He's killing everybody! Calm down,
Yo, ngapain? Ayo, ngapain? Masih ada goblok shotgun lu. Ah, pala tuh. Hilang, pala lu goblok. Yo. Piercing.
My guess is those dime novels didn't portray this as it happened, did they? Only a few stragglers were left.
Bikin gun lagi, bos.
Cut them down pronto if I was gonna stay on old Bob's trail.
Tuh aja kita mah pakai mesin gun mah. Tuh. Alah, gue yang mati kok. Lagi. Dia. Oh, mau ngapain? Maju semua. Masih ada.
Once I silenced all those guns, I went searching for my nemesis, determined to finally have my justice. But the only survivor who welcomed me was George Flat-Nosed Curry.
Who was he?
The fastest gun in the gang. Right after Sundance, I mean. And Kid Curry, and maybe Elsie Lay. Though some folks might dispute that.
Kita mengduel.
On that very same day, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid decided to leave the Wild Bunch behind and decamped for South America.
Jadi itulah awal mulanya Butch Cassidy sama Sundance Kid misah.
They ended up living down there for many years, but I'm sure you already know all about that.
"132 Hell." Ini diffusing dynamite. Harusnya di apa jembatan kereta gitu.
I tried to find Bob Bryant, but it was as if he'd disappeared. Sometime later, I heard the Wild Bunch was back together. Kid Curry escaped from jail, and now he was running the whole shebang. So I took to their trail, as I was still in pursuit of my brother's killer and hoped that he was back with him.
That Kid Curry's kinda crazy, ain't he?
Don't let him hear you saying that.
Anyways, I tracked those boys to a camp right outside Parachute, Colorado.
Dari mana tuh?
Being outnumbered, I didn't bother with a warning shot. I just started taking those bastards down.
Wih, kalem bos.
Old Bob wasn't among them, and neither was Kid Curry. I could sense him close by, however, plotting something nasty. I just needed a clue as to their whereabouts.
Ini cluenya di sini.
And I found one. A map with their bold plan clearly marked. This time they were fixing to blow up a train trestle. Property of the Union Pacific. The plan clearly indicated how they were fixing to undermine several of the weakest wooden supports.
Tapi nanggung, tapi tamat. Kita masuk.
Kid Curry was considered the wildest of the Wild Bunch. It was said that he fathered 85 bastard children, though some say it was only 5. Kid Curry had bragged to a whore how he was going to rob a train heading to the U.S. Mint in Denver. And that whore, Fat Sally, she told me. The bridge was rigged with dynamite, so I decided I'd best be careful confronting those bastards. A moment later, I saw a ladder that somehow had escaped my attention.
Don't you blow us up now.
Don't worry, I know what I'm doing.
But the Wild Bunch did not take kindly to my presence and attempted to blow my head off. It appeared the kid had found a number of new recruits to bolster their ranks.
Oh,
What happened next?
Well, having removed the first bundle of dynamite, I decided I might as well remove the other one.
oke. Bom defuse.
Once that was done, I figured I'd find my way from there.
Rame ya. Paling sih. Tuh. Nggak jatuh gua. Nyaris.
Had to remove more of that damn dynamite.
Yes.
It must have been terrifying trying to make your way across.
I was sweating it a bit, but then I noticed a footbridge tied up on high, so I shot the rope.
Paling. Kok mati, Beb? Kok mati? Oke, kita lanjut lagi. Sabar dong, kalem ya. Oke. Clear ya.
So that was all the dynamite?
Funny you should mention that, darling. As actually there was a fourth charge impeding my progress. Once I removed it, my path was pretty clear.
Dapat keluar. Tusuk. Oh, tunggu, belum PC, santai. Oh, mau kemana? Gua habis aja.
So I proceeded onward to realize that way just wasn't gonna work. I needed an alternate path forward.
Loncat.
Luckily, I found a cave, and as I made my way back to the bridge, I saw something that concerned me. It was a long burning fuse, and it was moving fast as hell. I had to catch it. Of course, I had to tread carefully. Otherwise, I could, well, die. The burning fuse was so damn quick, I had to run like the wind. I almost had it, but no. Thought I was gonna have a coronary when I lost sight of those sparks. My heart was pounding like a sledgehammer. I knew that failure meant finally, at the last moment.
Dikit lagi.
Of course, I was successful, or clearly I wouldn't be talking to you folks here today. Naturally, I removed the last dynamite charge.
Well, it was a touching reunion.
But by this time, I was thoroughly exhausted and dragging my ass as I was not a young man anymore. understand how badly my adventure might have ended had I not been as careful as hell.
Wait. Oke, kita lanjut lagi. Oh, si ini klik ya.
Kill that SOB!
Finally, I found those boys. Or more precisely, they found me.
Wait. Sabar, tenang, kalem, bisa, yuk kalem, bisa. Telepon dulu gua. Bentar ya, sabar ya. Sabar warga YouTube. Oke, lanjut lagi. Wah, sabar, kalem bos. Terima. Saja. Kenapa kami semua sih gablek? Assalamualaikum. Mati dari sini doang dah. Oke, sabar. Skip. Wait.
Just when I thought things couldn't get worse, Kid Curry opened up on me with a goddamn Gatling gun. It was hidden in this tunnel and pretty well shielded.
Oke, sip. Klik kalau salah. Oh, kit kiri. Kit kiri. Astaga, goblok. Masih ada, oke. Not bad. Tahan. Kosongkan ya.
I brought that tunnel down. And that's where I met Kid Curry himself. He had decided to stop pussyfooting around and deal with me personally. You're gonna bleed!
Well done. Wah, anjir. Bentar, gua fokus dulu bentar ya.
Fast as he was, I was just a bit faster. And as he lay wounded, I demanded to know the whereabouts of Roscoe Bob Bryant. He shouted at me. Is that what this is about? Bob went with Butch's Sundance to South America. You ain't never finding him.
Selesai.
Those were his last words.
Kelar.
So, Bob Bryant got away?
I knew I'd never find him in South America.
What about the other killer?
Yeah, you kind of glossed over that one.
Well, I found Jim not long after my showdown with Ringo. At the time, he was riding with the James Younger gang. Did I neglect to mention that?
Jesse James. Episode 8.
Jesse James? The greatest outlaw who ever lived?
Jesse and his kin rode with Quantrill when he raided Lawrence, Kansas, and killed near 200 people, boy.
Nothing great about that.
And from there, him and his brother went on to rob banks and trains from Kansas to Missouri.
Which is why there was such a rich bounty on their heads. 40 grand for both of them, dead or alive. That's one hell of a payday.
Tape right. Still you. Katanya jalan.
I confronted them as they were robbing a train. Bullets were flying at me from every which way. But I knew I'd have to fight my way forward if I was going to find this Jim.
Now wait a second. How'd they stop this train in the first place?
Well, the James boys were experts at this.
Rewind dulu. Ya gitu mas. Train. Stalling it down. Jesse James.
They hopped a freight train, having heard there was a big payroll in the express safe. So, I hopped the same.
Mencet. Aku salah mencet.
The James Younger gang was decimated after that little fiasco they had in Northfield, Minnesota. So Jesse needed more men and took on the killer I was after, along with a host of others. I was hoping to find my man and put a bullet in his head. Finally around that train, I must have swallowed 100 damn bugs before I reached
James
that.
Younger gang pulled the first train robbery west of Mississippi.
Sounds like you hold them in high regard.
Astaga, belakang gua ternyata.
And you took them all on by your lonesome. Again. I'm finding this all a little hard to swallow, friend.
Well, maybe you need to wash it down with some whiskey. By the way, did I mention that train was flying down those tracks like a bat out of hell?
Mana lagi? Ayo, ngapain lu lari-larian? Yo, ngapain? Tenang, kalem, bisa. Yuk.
Anyway, excuse me, ma'am. Where would I find the gentleman's facilities? Suddenly I have an urgent need to drain my one-eyed snake. Well, I've had more than a few drinks, and I've been sitting here for quite a spell.
Right through there. Let me show you. I never heard so much malarkey in my life.
You think he's bullshitting us?
You don't think he's Silas Greaves?
I think he's just some old drunk looking for some free liquor.
Sini si Jack itu kalau dia itu salah.
I don't know, Jack. I think I believe him. You don't think he met Jesse James?
Boy, you gotta be kidding me. That story makes no sense at all.
Jack.
I mean, you gotta be 2 bricks short of a load to believe that cock and bull story.
I don't agree.
Jack, lay off the
But
bar.
you seriously think that tired old man went toe-to-toe with Jesse James?
Huh? Well, that's better. Did I mention that this Jim was married to the infamous Belle Starr? Of course, I didn't learn that until later. Anyway, I made my way forward the best I could. Around the sides, over the wheel. At some point, some bitch saw me and shouted out, "It's a damn penguin!" Now, I never worked for that limey cocksucker, but I guess they assumed I was one of his assassins. Those evil bastards firebombed Jesse's mother's house and killed his stepbrother. So it's no wonder each and every asshole on that train wanted me dead.
Everybody's always mistaking you for somebody else, aren't they? Why is that, I wonder?
No, Jack. I'm just telling you how I remember it.
I bet you are.
Mana lagi? Lagi.
I came across a flat car piled high with logs.
Oh, blok.
Come up
Kami
with a
betul.
creative way to make my way forward. I wondered if I was ever going to find the front of that train. or the bastard I was after.
Kenceng buat gila, kaget tuh. Klik kalau di
Like some asshole on a Gatling gun.
Yeah, seems like you run into a lot of them.
Asshole?
Gatling guns.
Yes, I did. Now, I don't remember how I took it out. It was either a bullet or dynamite.
Where would you find dynamite?
Does it really matter, Jack? You're messing with the flow of the story here.
Kayaknya gue gak dapet jembatan terowongan.
I was looking for Jim and shooting any son of a bitch stupid enough to get in my way. And that included Jesse James himself. There sure were a lot of men determined to die that day. It was then that Jesse detached the express car from the rest of the damn train. I could see Jesse waiting for me, fixing to kill me so he could get away with all that money.
You want to show that with Jesse James?
Of course he didn't. Everybody knows that Jesse was killed by Bob Ford. Yeah, Jesse went out like John Wesley Hardin. Coward shot him in the back of the head.
Guess it doesn't matter how far you run, does it, Ben? Your past always catches up with you.
Alah, gak kena dong. Tadi gue minat banget banyak. Apa fokus. What the fuck?
Sip.
Yeah, I didn't kill Jesse James. Just wounded him bad enough to convince him to hang up his guns.
What about that Jim fella? What happened to him?
I figure he was up front with a gun to the engineer's head. That bastard slipped away again. I'll tell you how I got him. But first I need to wet my whistle.
Down.
After my showdown with Jesse, I continued to track his brother, Frank, and that sumbitch Jim. I followed those bastards into the high mountains as they were going to ground.
What mountains would that be?
Somewhere in the Ozarks, I believe. The perfect place to hide out from the authorities. In fact, before I could find them, some Indians who fled the res and were hiding out from the military found me first. They probably thought I was a cavalry scout and didn't want me telling the military where they were.
Indians?
It could have been Cheyenne, but there was all sorts of renegades roaming the landscape back then.
Gua kebentuk gua. Aman ya kiri.
Hey, how about another whiskey, Ben? Nothing better to soothe the troubled soul. Now, where was I? Indians. I had more than my share of run-ins with the Red Man. Like that time... Did I tell you about the Red Wolf?
Yes, sir. You did.
Of course I did. In fact, I can still remember that old medicine man's words to me.
Jesus Christ, we're back to that again.
You carry great darkness in your heart. It will claim your soul. You will come to this place again.
Lagi, one lagi. Kalem.
Kill many more men. Will grow until it consumes everything you are.
Allahu Akbar.
Like that time, did I tell you about Grey Wolf?
Yes, sir. You did.
Of course I did. In fact, I could still remember that old medicine man's words to me.
Jesus Christ, we're back to that again.
You carry great darkness in your heart. It will claim your soul. You will come to this place again. And kill many more men.
Lawan lagi. Go.
Consumes everything you are.
Oke. Nice.
So, did you ever find him?
Baik semua.
The man you were after?
Let me ask you something, Ben. You ever think about death?
Mr. Graves, are you all right?
Ooh, death. Oh, death. Won't you spare me over till another year? What is this that I can't see with ice cold hands taking hold of me? Well, I am dead, none can excel. I'll open the door to heaven or hell. Oh, death, won't you spare me over till another year?
So, are you gonna answer the question?
What question is that?
Jim Reed. Did you ever find him?
Reed was indeed that son bitch's surname. That's right, Ben. A despicable character. I remember him laughing like a hyena that cold morning they lynched me and my brothers. He was intent on avoiding my vengeance, but nothing was gonna stop me. Nothing.
Ini langsung aja.
I finally did track those outlaws down. They had long rifles with scopes and were well positioned to pick off any poor soul who came anywhere close.
Sabar. Sip.
I'm guessing Frank James believed I was responsible for the demise of his brother Jesse. I couldn't really disagree with the man, as I thought Jesse was dead then as well. He backed off as I closed in on him, but he was still intent on killing me. And when I closed in on him again, he backed off again, looking for a better angle on me. Well, I can't fault Frank for wanting his revenge, as I was there for the same damn reason myself. At this point, I'm guessing you think Silas Greaves is a worse murderer than Jim Reed ever was.
No, sir.
A man who spent half his life killing somebody's brothers, fathers, sons.
I think you were just looking for justice, sir.
Is that what I was looking for, Dwight? Is that what it was? Justice?
Isn't that why you were hunting the James gang?
The James gang. Right. I finally found Frank holed up in his mountain cabin, and he was determined to have me dead. It was a pitched battle that could have gone either way. Luckily, I had some dynamite in my possession.
Dynamite, come out! On your person.
A few sticks, just in case. It's always good to be I'm just laying out the facts as I remember them, Jack. And that old shack, well, it went tumbling right off that cliff.
With Frank James still in it?
Yes, sir.
But Frank James is still alive, living in Missouri, showing folks around the family farm for 25 cents a tour.
I didn't say he died in the fall, now did I?
I'm done with this damnable outlaw life. Kill me, don't kill me, do what you will. At this point, I just don't give a shit.
I explained to Frank that I had nothing against him personally and that I was looking for someone else.
You want Reed? Have at him. I never did like that bastard. I am done here.
We parted in peace as Frank pointed out the path to my prey before making his way back down the hill.
Oke, lanjut.
escape my revenge again.
So what happened with Reed?
Well, I finally found the last of the gang hiding in a nearby cave. First, I had to dispatch lookouts.
Lagi.
But rather than wander in willy-nilly, I decided it would be better to smoke that sumbitch out. Hey, Reed! I shouted. No wonder you're so ornery. Can't be easy being married to Belle Starr. While you're off providing for the family, she's spreading her legs for every Tom, Dick, and Cole Younger. Not an attractive woman exactly, but very friendly. At least she was to me.
Son of a bitch!
It was then that the last bunch of bandits jumped out of hiding.
Why won't this asshole give up?
Would someone please kill him?
King loh.
Eventually, it was just me and Reed.
Dia, well.
I had waited a long time to face him down, so I could repay him for what he did to my brothers.
Sorry, masih aku gimana? Masuk. Kenceng. Dulu gua. Jangan. Kena juga gua. Fucking. Udah, ses. Lalu hilang.
And repay him I did.
Oke. Selalu honorable kill. Jangan dishonorable.
Well, I don't know about you boys, but I'm pretty bait.
Well, it's too damn bad you never found that Bob character. Seems a shame you never had to pay.
Well, funny thing about that, I did have one more chance at him.
Wild Bonds. Back to episode 6.
6 months ago, I heard that Butch and Sundance were back in the States and had gathered up some of their old gang. I tracked them down, hoping that Roscoe Bob Bryant had returned with them.
So you're saying they didn't die down in Bolivia?
That's what I'm saying.
Ini udah chapter terakhir nih. Jadi goes down. The good, bad, and the bad.
40 years I had waited to get my hands on the last of my brother's killers. Not even an army of demons could have stopped me now.
Lagi.
Both Ringo and Jim Reed fell fairly quickly. But the last one, Roscoe Bob Bryant, that's some managed to escape my vengeance time and time again. I couldn't even be certain I'd recognize him after all these years. By now, he had to be close to 70.
For all you know, he could have been dead.
That thought had indeed crossed my mind, as did others.
Mana lagi? Okay.
For instance, did my thirst for vengeance turn me into something worse than the man I was after? By this point in my storied career, I had killed more men than Bob Bryant ever had.
SD ya, London.
Nothing could stop me from taking his life. I've been after that killer forever. From the time I rode with Billy the Kid. But that chapter of my story you already know.
Fairy tale, you mean?
Suddenly it was 1910. There I was, an old man roaming a ghost town dead almost 2 decades. Town was falling apart. Just like me.
Kadang gua cater nih di sini. Mana? Mana? Naik kah? Oh sini, astaga. Wait.
But I wasn't about to call it quits. Even though the ghosts of my dead brothers were begging me to end what I started so long ago.
Mr. Graves, are you all right? Would you like some water?
The Wild Bunch knew I was there. They were after a treasure they had hidden before they fled, buried in the grave of a dead amigo. Some folks think the town is haunted, so they figured there wouldn't be many people poking around.
Oh, baik dulu nih. Untuk tower. Next ini sih. Masalah gue masih bangunan deh. Gue kemana nih? Lagi gue. Tahu. Oh, gue agak lupa ingat nih. clock tower sini. Ke kanan terus gua ke sini. Ada jalan goblok. Sini. Oh sini astaga.
I intended to fill that grave with Bob Bryant's corpse. But like I said, the bandits knew I was on to them. They lured me in and hit me with everything they had.
Kill that old man!
Goblok, nyangkut.
But you obviously prevailed since you're sitting here telling us the tale.
Actually, in that moment, I did not prevail.
So I suppose we're talking to a ghost.
Funny you should put it like that, Jack.
Okay.
Because when I woke up,
From the dead?
there was silence all around me. I could swear to God I saw Billy then.
Billy who?
Billy, the kid. William Bonney. He was shooting at me from a rooftop. Here, there, even over there.
So I am right. You are touched in the head.
Mr. Greaves, perhaps we should switch you to coffee?
You see that old Indian again, too?
No, but I did see Billy's killer. Patrick Floyd Garrett. He came at me guns a-blazing. But I knew that old war horse had died 2 years before. I wondered if maybe I was dead too and confronting the ghosts of my past. Perhaps all my sins were coming back to haunt me and drag me down to perdition. I saw Henry Plummer throw dynamite at me.
Di mana sih tuh? Dari mana anjing? Dari mana? Dari mana? Gua tanya dari mana? Dari mana itu?
In the gates of the cemetery, I saw John Wesley Hart, just like I remembered him.
Dihakin. Ada lu.
Robert Ollinger appeared with his terrible double-barrel shotgun. The Ghost Army was stopping me.
hit with a fallen branch. He
Sumpah
spent
kagak
the
lihat
rest of his life talking to dogs.
Sumpah kagak lihat gua. Terus tuh agak annoying stage-nya. Ya Allah, terus ini. Yo. Ayo. Ayo bisa ayo.
Newman Hayes Clanton, William Brocious, John Peters Ringo, they all wanted me dead.
Lawan lagi. Ternyata belakang gua.
The Dalton brothers, Robert and Grattan, guardians of the Garden of the Dead.
Kayaknya gue butuh minum dulu dah. Bentar. Main gak konsen gua. Tidak ada yang menontonnya. Oke, I'm back. Buat para apa namanya? Ke YouTube. di stream gua. Kalau bisa ya.
The Dalton brothers,
Tinggalin like-nya.
Robert and Grattan, guardians of
Aku
the
makin
Garden of
semangat
the Dead.
streamnya nih. Ini annoying banget sih.
George Curry and Harvey Logan, alias Kid Curry, both thirsty for vengeance from the great beyond. Jesse, Wilson, James, and Jim Reed, each one deader than the next. I thought I would go crazy. Finally, I saw Harry Alonzo Longo.
The Sundance Kid?
Like a general leading his legion of the dead.
You told us before that you've seen him alive.
He was alive.
Salah belok, salah belok. Hey, yo. Kawan gua. Kasih itu gua.
Voice called to me from afar. It was Robert Leroy Parker, a.k.a. Butch Cassidy, coming at me from out of the fog.
Thanks for taking care of that bastard.
Tinggal duel. Butch Cassidy. Sundance Kid. Sounds good. The good, the bad, and the bad. Ini nih yang ribet.
But the kid wasn't quite
Double
deceased. Not yet.
Takes more than one little bullet to kill the likes of me, partner.
Those two looked like they hadn't seen each other for quite a while. Clearly, they were no longer amigos.
Shit.
I was hoping I wouldn't have to kill you.
You won't have to, Butch. I'm killing you first. I asked them about Bob Bryant, but they were too busy with their own heated conversation.
Let me get this shit straight. You want my money and the love of my life?
You frittered it all away, Butch. Etta's mine. So is that damn money.
I didn't want to shoot anybody until I had an answer to my question. But those boys didn't give me much of a choice.
Kita duel. Kita duel. Sedikit. Sudah. Ribut. Ayo. Ini bahaya.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid died there in that cemetery not 6 months ago.
Finally.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid were killed by the Bolivian army. Everybody knows that.
That's the legend, but it ain't the truth.
So, you never found Bob? There is no Bob. This old sumbitch ain't even Silas Greaves.
Sir, is that true? Have you been pulling our legs this whole time?
Well, not the whole time.
Oh, man, I think you've worn out your welcome here.
Maybe you're right, Jack. Maybe it's time to pay. You see, Ben, or should I say Bob, your past always catches up with you.
I was a different man back then, crazy. Drinking, I changed my ways, I swear to you. If I could turn back the clock,
But you can't, Bob.
Redemption. Revenge law. Revenge.
Why'd you toy with me like that? Telling those tales, knowing all along. Why not just lay your cards on the table?
Here. I won't have it said that I left you with nothing.
That's how you want it? So be it.
Duel dah lawan Ben.
Holy shit!
Right, Molly, move against that wall. Go!
What the fuck? violence, project violence. Clear akhirnya. Tamat.
Did you know it was him all along?
Cassidy told me Bob was in Abilene before he died. But I wasn't sure Ben was my man until he revealed how much he knew about Ringo and Reed. The coin, of course. Well, that was the last nail in that particular coffin.
I better go get the sheriff.
You okay, boy? You're looking mighty shook up.
Dwight, maybe you best go home. Young Eisenhower here is leaving for West Point tomorrow. He shouldn't get caught up in something like this.
I think I might head out myself at this juncture. Unless you want to stop me, Jack.
No, sir, Mr. Graves.
So where are you going now? Now that you had your revenge?
Doesn't really matter, does it? As I've sold my soul for it, and will never again walk with those I have lost.
Call of Juarez.
Won't you spare me till another year?
Selesai akhirnya. Gue skip aja kreditnya. Gue skip kreditnya dan selesai. Kita lihat achievement. Sisa apa sih belum achievement? Belum 4 lagi ya. Arcade mission, Legend of Legend, arcade mode, kita arcade monsters. Ini nih, buat yang winning duel. Ya, gampang lah itu mah. Oke, lalu main. Main. Oke lah kalau gitu. Kita sudahi saja dulu game stream gua. Karena Call of Juarez juga udah tamat. So, thank you banget semua yang udah pada nontonin gameplay Call of Juarez Gunslinger ini. Thank you banget pokoknya ya. Kalau gitu, gue cuma pamit. See ya. Bye. Hola.